It's so good to be back in the house of the Lord.
Amen.
And I just want to thank my sister, Pastor Easley, for allowing me to come back here and preach again.
Amen.
It's a great honor to be here, and I'm just thankful for y'all allowing me to be here. And I just my family and everything, and my wife and my 2 kids. The 2 girls y'all hear back there, those my girls. But it was a long ride over here, but I'm thankful God for allowing us to get here safely. Didn't know a storm was coming, but I'm glad we got here safely.
Amen.
Now, just say if you was in a bad situation, and just say physically you was not in that situation anymore, but mentally you was still stuck in that situation. Physically, you was not there in that situation, that bad situation, but mentally, it was still stuck. Your mind, your heart, your soul was still stuck in that situation.
Well.
And I can relate to this. And I remember the first time me and Janelle first got married. Them first 2.5 years was like a heavyweight boxing fight. I mean, we was at each other. I mean, it got so bad that we would argue, and then it got so bad that it went to silent. We wouldn't talk to each other. I mean, we would go weeks without talking to each other. I mean, even if we was in the same room, we wouldn't say one word to each other. If we had to say something, we would talk to each other, but we didn't. And so when our relationship started to get better, but the problem was, physically, we wasn't in that situation anymore, but mentally, we were still stuck there. And we could have 6 good days, but that on the 7th day, we had a bad day. That bad day will make us go back to what we was. Because we got accustomed to that lifestyle. We got accustomed to that situation.
My God.
And so even if we had 6 good days, that one bad day will make us go back because we were still stuck in that situation. Now, people out there, raise your hand if you ever been stuck in a bad situation.
Amen. Amen.
So, this morning, my topic is going to be about wanting to go back to Egypt.
Well,
Lord, I just want to thank you for allowing us to be here and make it here safely. God, open up the hearts and the ears of the people, God. Just bless us, and I just thank you for my sister for allowing us to be here, and I just thank you for everything you have done. And just thank you for this Sunday morning, and thank you for all the churches that's going to be having service this morning. Just bless them, and just hope that somebody learns something to have a life change. And just thank you, Jesus. In Jesus' name, amen. I'm coming from the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 10 through 12. And when the Pharaoh drew near, the children of Israel lifted their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them. So they were very afraid, and the children of Israel cried out to the Lord. They said to Moses, because there was no grave in Egypt, have you taken us away to die in the wilderness? Why have you so dealt with us to bring us up out of Egypt? Is this not the word that we told you in Egypt, saying, let us alone that we may serve the Egyptians? For it is better for us to serve the Egyptians than we should die in the wilderness. Now, one thing you got to remember, the Israel people, they have been slaves about 400 years. And since they've been slaves for about 400 years, that's all they knew. I mean, they was born, a lot of them was born into slavery. And they didn't know anything else. They just got accustomed to being a slave. They got accustomed to doing things for the Egyptian people. That's what they got used to. And so while this was going on, God heard the cry of his people. And so since he heard the cry of the people, he sent Moses to go there and tell Pharaoh to let my people go. But while Moses was on his way to Egypt, God hardened the Pharaoh's heart. And the reason why he did that, because he had to show the people of Israel that he's the only true living God.
Amen.
And he had to show that. Because see, God knew the type of people he was dealing with. He knew that the people of Israel came accustomed to being a slave.
Well.
And since he knew that, he knew that he was going to have to prove to them who he was, that he was I am, the great God. He knew he was going to have to prove that to them. Because I mean, just think about it. If you've been a slave for about 400 years, how long you been a slave? Did you just go up and leave Egypt? And that's all you knew? You're not going to just up and leave. So God knew what he was dealing with. And so how did he do it? The 10 plagues of Egypt. You got the water into blood. You got the frogs, the lice, the mixture of wild animals, the disease of livestock, the boils on the skin, the thunderstorm of hail, locusts, darkness for 3 days, and the death of the firstborn. These 10 things had to happen. They had to happen to prove, so God can show the people of Israel what type of God he was. He had to show them, like, if I can do this, can you imagine what I can do for you? He had to prove that to them. Because like I said, they weren't just go up and leave. I mean, this is all they knew. I mean, just think about it. If all you knew was being a teacher or something like that, that's all you knew.
Right.
You're not going to do anything else. Especially if you was born into that. You're like, this is all I know. I can't do, I mean, just imagine if you was a boxer and all them years you train, and it's about time you retire. You're going to have a hard time because you're like, this is all I've done. It's all my life. I don't know anything else with this. Now, like I said, these 10 plagues had to happen. Because like I said, they would have stayed in Egypt. But do you want to know one thing? When it's about time them to leave, that they didn't leave empty-handed. I mean, just think about it. They left with gold, silver, livestock, and clothes. They left with these things. I mean, just think about it. When you leave a situation, God ain't going to let you leave empty-handed. Now, you might not leave what you want, but He's going to make sure you have what you need.
That's right. That's right.
And the good, I mean, crazy thing about this, when those 10 plagues happen, especially when the death of the firstborn, the Pharaoh was like, Moses, get your people out of here. Take you and your God and leave. I mean, he's like, I had enough of this. I mean, just think about it. They prayed and prayed to their gods, and they couldn't do nothing. I mean, they couldn't do nothing. But he's like, man, just leave. I'm tired of this. And why do people was leaving? All of a sudden, the Pharaoh came back to his senses. He's like, wait a minute. Who gonna work this land? Who gonna build all these pyramids? I know people in Egypt's not gonna do this. You know what? We gotta go back and get these people back. And so the Pharaoh went and got his army and went after the people of Israel.
My Lord.
And while the people of Israel was out in the wilderness, they had 2 problems. They had the Red Sea in front of them. They had the Egypt army and behind them.
Well,
the Red Sea in front of them. The Egypt army behind them. Now just think about this. How are we going to get past this Red Sea? We can't walk on water. I mean, we're not Jesus. Only Jesus walked on water. I'm like, how are we going to get across this Red Sea? And all of a sudden the Pharaoh army's coming. And this is what happened. And when the Pharaoh drew near, the children of Israel lifted their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them. So they was very afraid, and the children of Israel cried out to the Lord. And then they said to Moses, because there was no graves in Egypt, have you taken us away to die in the wilderness? Why have you so dealt with us to bring us up out of Egypt? Is this not the word that we told you in Egypt, saying, let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? For it will be better for us to serve the Egyptians than we should die in the wilderness. Now, the people of Israel, they saw the miracles of God. The people of Israel saw that the Pharaoh let them go. The people of Israel saw that they didn't leave empty-handed. They've been slaves for about 400 years. They've been working hard for Egypt for years. And that's all they knew. And now they realize Pharaoh and his army is right behind them. And so they started crying out to Moses. Did we tell you to leave us alone? What did we tell you in Egypt? Leave us alone. We would rather serve the Egyptians. To be honest with Mr. God. That's all they could see was behind them in Egypt. That's all they can see. They couldn't see what's in front of them. They couldn't see that they was free to do whatever they wanted to do, grow whatever they want to do, and whatever they want to do. But all they could think about was going to go back to Egypt. They'd rather live their life back in Egypt than be free. That's what they was going through. But see, God had one trick on his sleeve. You know, like you playing a poker game and you got that card on your sleeve like this. That's what God had. So God saved that last card to show them who he really was. And see, while the Egyptians was coming behind them, all of a sudden Moses called out and the Red Sea split. And the Israel people walked on dry land. Water on right and water on left side. They walked on dry land. After they cried out, and even when they told Moses that we would rather be in Egypt, God still took care of them. And they walked on dry land. When they got across, and when Pharaoh's army went on dry land, all of a sudden the Red Sea collapsed and they drowned.
My God.
Now, the problem is, even though when they saw all that, the Israel people, they still forgot all the things God had done for them. God understood one thing about his people. I mean, just have you heard it saying, you can leave the hood, but you can't take the hood out of the person? Have you heard that saying? You can take the person out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of the person. They mentally, physically, still stuck in the hood. Even if you put them in a better situation, their mindset is still stuck there. And see, God knew this. He took them out of Egypt, but Egypt was still stuck in them. And see, the problem was, it was a heart thing. Their heart was still stuck in Egypt. That was the problem. It wasn't that they was free. Their heart and their mind and soul was still stuck back there. I mean, just think about it. When Moses and Pharaoh were coming after them, like when I said when Moses and Pharaoh come, what did they say? We'd rather still be stuck in Egypt. Why would you rather still be a slave? Why would you work and don't get paid? And work all those years and then get whooped and all that type of stuff. And be a second class of people. Why would you still want to be that? But they rather be that than be free. I mean, that was their mindset. I'd rather be shackled to what was holding me down than be free. The shackle was in Egypt when he was a slave. The freedom was God took them away from Egypt. They was free. But their mindset, they were still stuck in Egypt. They wanted to go back to Egypt. Even when they saw all the things God done, they would rather still go back to Egypt. Now, so they, like I said, they were still stuck, want to serve Egypt. Physically, they was out of Egypt. But mentally, they were still stuck there. They would rather stay in that bad situation than be in a good situation. I mean, have you ever been like that? You would rather stay in a bad situation than be in a good situation? Because think about it. In a bad situation, you know what's about to happen. You know what to expect. But when you get in a good situation, you don't know what to expect.
That's right.
It's like, what's that saying? It's too good to be true. It's like something bad is about to happen. Even though this good thing, you just think it's something bad about it. You just waiting for something. When something bad, so you did what I tell you. I should just stay there. And that was the problem of the Israel people. Now just say, if it was a woman who been in an abusive relationship. And she been in that relationship for many years.
My God.
She became accustomed to that relationship and that situation. Just say that man mentally and physically abused her. And that's all she knew. Even if she left that situation. 9 out of 10. Not every woman. Some women say, I'm not dealing with this anymore and change. But some women, 9 out of 10, would go back to him, or they would pick somebody just like him. Because that's all they knew. That was all they're accustomed to. And even if they don't go back to a man,
Well,
but mentally they're going to be stuck in that situation. And that situation is going to run in their mind over and over and over again because that's all they knew. And they think to themselves, I cannot do no better than this. I can't do any better. Even if they had a good man, they will mess it up.
my God.
Because it's too good to be true. Eventually, you're going to start doing stuff. That's what their mindset is going to be doing. And that's what the devil does to you. Keep you locked up in Egypt.
Yes.
My God.
Now, another good example is Exodus 16 chapter, verse 2 and 3. The whole congregation of the sons of Israel grumbled against Moses and said Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. The sons of Israel said to them, with that we had died by the Lord's hand in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the pots of the meat, when we ate bread to the full, for you have brought us out of the wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. Now that's another example. God has brought them out of Egypt, and all they can think about is the food they ate to the full. We sitting here hungry. And you brought us out of Egypt. At least in Egypt we had something to eat.
Well,
Even though we was getting beaten and worked like a dog, sun up to sun down. Well, at least we had something to eat. Why did you bring us out here to die of hunger? And one thing you gotta realize, what did they say? Egypt. They brought up Egypt. Here's another example. Exodus 17 chapter and 3rd verse. But the people thirst there for water, and they grumbled against Moses and said, why now have you brought us out from Egypt to kill us and the children and our livestock with thirst? That's that word, Egypt. Why have you brought us out of Egypt to kill us of thirst? Why? It's like they just can't leave Egypt alone. Because just think about it. They have been away from Egypt for a while, and they still thinking about Egypt. I mean, could you imagine if you was Moses dealing with these type of people? I mean, I see why Moses was angry all the time. They keep thinking about Egypt. I'm like, what is y'all problem? Y'all free. You can go work and do as you please, but you're still thinking about Egypt. Do you remember the 10 plagues? Do you remember God splitting the Red Sea?
Yes.
Do you remember these things? It's like they forget all the time. And one thing I noticed, I Googled this, about, there was 87 Bible verses God had to bring to their attention. I'm the one who brought you out of Egypt.
Yes.
87 Bible verses. He had to keep reminding them, I'm the one who brought you out of Egypt. I mean, just think about this. Say if you had a kid and you had to tell your kid 87 times to clean up the room.
All right.
I mean, just think about it. 87 times, you're like, did I tell you to clean your room?
Okay.
I mean, that's what God was dealing with, Moses dealing with. That he had to tell them 87 Bible verses. I'm the one who brought you out of Egypt.
My. Wow.
Now, there's a thing that I heard on Facebook, and it's about the monkeys and how these people catch the monkeys. What they do is they'll grab a coconut, and they'll cut a hole in the coconut, and they'll put fruit in the coconut. And the monkey will see it, and so they make the hole big enough for the monkey to reach in like this. But once the monkey grabbed the fruit, when he started to pull out, the monkey can't pull his arm out because they only cut so wide. And all of a sudden the monkey can see the people coming after it, but the monkey would not let that fruit go. I mean, the monkey would do all he can to get that fruit out of the coconut. I mean, it's sitting there pulling and pulling. All the monkey has to do is open up his hand and pull it back out, and it's free. But that monkey's like, this fruit, this Egypt, I'm holding on to this Egypt. I ain't leaving till I get this Egypt out of this coconut. And then they get captured.
Yes, let it go.
All they had to do was open up his hand and then pull it out. They was free. They held on to Egypt. Couldn't let Egypt go.
Yes.
Always looking back instead of looking to the future. See, the future is scary. It's scary.
Yes.
But the past, that's all you know.
Mm.
So if you hear, it's time to leave Egypt.
Well,
If you stuck in a bad situation, it's time to let Egypt go. It's time to stop wanting to go back to Egypt.
time.
It's time to be free.
Yes.
All that weight that's holding you down, it's time to let it go.
Time.
And of course, you're going to need the help of Jesus. Because it's hard to do it alone. And you also need a church to help you too.
Yeah.
But it's time
It's time.
to let Egypt go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Go.
God bless.
Amen.
Go. Hallelujah.